Community leaders are joining forces to better protect our children from sex offenders in the city of Buffalo. Good evening, everyone. They say the information is out there, but families have to go looking for it.
Buffalo Common Council will look at a plan to change that. We have team coverage tonight on the group's push to make the community safer. And we begin with Dave Graber, who's live in front of City Hall tonight. Dave?
Well, Don and Jackie, when Buffalo's Common Council's meeting is called to order here at City Hall tomorrow afternoon, a group of local parents will be asking them to be more proactive about the city's sex offenders.
The region's sex offenders are an ever-changing population that includes some 600 names for the city of Buffalo and approximately 1,600 Erie County-wide. The problem, according to Keon Lee of the Buffalo Center for Prevention and Treatment of Child Sex Abuse, is that too few of his neighbors know.
It's chilling. It's chilling because you have 600 registered pedophiles and sex offenders in the city of Buffalo, and those are just the registered ones.
Lee, who's helping to lead the charge for change at City Hall, says there's a disconnect between the information, which can be found online at the New York State Sex Offender Registry, and the people who need it most.
A lot of people are not computer savvy. A lot of people, you have a lot of foreigners in our city who may not be able to read and write, correct English. So we need the registry list to be sent out, you know what I mean? And the disconnect is that they're not providing us with this.
The registry provides plenty of detail. Among the nearly 600 sex offenders in the city is Charles Bloomquist, who's labeled a sexually violent offender, the highest risk level. Bloomquist was convicted in 2003 for having sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old girl in Wyoming County. The state says Bloomquist knew his victim.
We have boys and girls clubs around here. Kids are walking up and down the street, getting off of the bus when you have a sex offender that lives right around the corner. But the people in the neighborhood don't know it because they won't send out the information.
Council President Darius Pridgeon says local legislators hear the concerns. That's why they voted unanimously to take up the issue.
Obviously, if there are people concerned, and this is a very serious issue, the council wanted to ensure that the information that we are getting from citizens is looked at, and if it needs to be enhanced, to be very honest and be able to say we need to make some changes on the city level.
Now, we all know the concern of being notified when a sex offender moves into or out of your neighborhood. But actually, the FBI says that's not necessarily all of what parents need to be concerned about. Bringing in News 4's Jen Shantz now, who actually spoke to the FBI, and they helped to sort of debunk some pretty common myths about sex offenders, right?
Well, they certainly did. Unlike a lot of other crimes, there's really no type when it comes to sex offenders. They come from all socioeconomic backgrounds and walks of life. Now, what's making the FBI's job more challenging is the ever-changing playing field that these predators are using. The creepy man lurking near a playground has taken on a new shape. Now, more often, it's the smooth-talking Facebook friend or the intriguing Instagram follower.
With the advent of the internet, the game has changed. Now, anyone with internet connection anywhere in the world is potentially a predator and can reach out and prey on our children.
FBI Supervisory Special Agent Jeremy Bell says most sexual predators use the internet and social media to reach their victims. Bell says one of the biggest misconceptions is that predators have to be near their victims. Another misconception, predators are strangers.
We often see those individuals that prey on children are close to them. They put themselves in a position to have access to children.
FBI Special Agent in Charge Holly Hubert has been working to bring down sex offenders for 23 years. She says the stranger danger mentality exists for a reason, but it's not the brunt of sex crimes against children. Only 10% of child sex predators are strangers to the victim. 60% are known to the victim socially, like a neighbor, a coach, a teacher, or a babysitter. 30% of predators are related to the children they abuse.
They're able to manipulate the children because there is a family situation and they have so much access to the child that they psychologically manipulate them and they groom them, so to speak, long before the abuse even happens.
And that manipulation is part of why so few sex crimes against children are reported. And the recidivism rate for offenders is high. According to national statistics, compared to non-sex-related criminals, sex offenders released from state prisons are 4 times more likely to be arrested for a sex crime again. Now, we can't share any of the FBI's investigative tactics, but we can tell you that they are constantly working to up their game when it comes to tracking these individuals down. Now, locally, the Child Exploitation Task Force is comprised of the FBI here in Buffalo and other local law enforcement agencies, and their main goal is to just stay ahead of the curve when it comes to tracking sex offenders, which, as we mentioned, is an uphill battle.
Definitely a big challenge when you're talking about the numbers that we've found out, and that is, again, almost 600 sex offenders registered in the city of Buffalo, and as many as 1,600 in Erie County. That is a lot to keep track of.
And then when you come on top of that with those who are using the internet, that could be coming from all over the world, all over the country. So the number is probably higher than we even think it is.
Absolutely. All right, Jen. Thanks. For Jen Shantz, I'm Dave Graber. We're reporting live downtown in Buffalo. News 4 at 6.